Hello and welcome to a Honda CB200 video. In this video, just a real quick update. First video of 2020. Happy New Year everybody. Thank you to all the subscribers that are following the channel. It really is appreciated that you've joined up, and thanks very much for all the comments that you've put in. So catching up from where we were, so we've done sort of the rear end of it, which I think is looking quite nice. I particularly like my carbs. I do like those. So finally managed to get rid of that screw of doom that was in that screw socket there for the petrol tank badge, and the tank, as you can see, is all stripped. There was the issue with the leak at the back end of it, so that's all now been brazed up, and I need to put the tap on the bottom, and I need to fill the tank up with fuel and just make sure there's no leaks in there at all before we look at it being painted. And talking about painting, I'm really keen to restore the bike back to its original colour. So my intentions going forward now are to look at the front end of the bike. I need to remove these side headlight brackets. There we are, so that we can get those painted. I've had another bowl for the lamp actually powder coated in black, which I'm reasonably happy with. Some of the CB200s in this range, which is sort of a green colour, seem to have a black headlight, and some of them seem to have a sort of the green headlight, and I shall debate on which one I go for once I've got that off. But of course, taking all that off means undoing the loom, which is all in there. And being honest, the last time I stripped out all of that from inside one of them, I ended up melting the entire loom because I put the wiring back together again wrong. So I'm really nervous about that. But the aim is to strip this front end down, take this bit off to strip it for painting, consider painting the headlamp, just do a quick service on the shocks. One of them is a reservice one, and one of them is a new old stock, so just make sure they're working all nicely. And I want to fix the mudguard. So the mudguard here has been cut off at the bottom, and snap head riveted, which are beginning to fail, so I need to replace those, and I'm considering having that re-chromed, as well as the little edging strip on the headlight, that also the chrome is beginning to fail. But the other job I'm thinking of doing when I'm doing this strip is to actually replace the bearings in there with their ball bearings in there at the moment, and so I can replace that with a new upgraded part when I strip all that front down. So going forward, we're looking at stripping the front down, finishing stripping the getting ready for painting, so those front parts, petrol tank, side casings, they are half stripped, one of them, which I had to do some plastic welding on. But another job I need to do on top of that is to actually have a look at the air filters. So here are the air filters. They are new old stock, so the filter paper inside is in really good condition, and these are like rocking horse dung, can't find them anywhere. I have got the old ones, so I do want to look at, is there a way of taking out the old cartridge filter that's in there, and not cartridge filter, but the old paper that's in there, it's sort of glued in, burning that out or cutting that out from inside the metal housing that's in there, and sort of making a replacement one to go in there, so that when these come to the end of their serviceable life, I've got the other ones that are in the store cupboard. But the problem we've got with these is the rubber on here. The rubber on here is now solid. It's solid plastic, so I need to recondition those. And I've seen a number of fellow YouTubers who've done some rubber regeneration activities with something like oil of winter grease, methyl salic or something like that. So in my lovely store cupboard of chemicals and all sorts of bits in here, I've got some of that. I've also got some rubbing alcohol that seems to be sort of the mix we can use. So what I'm going to have to do is warm these up with a hairdryer. That gets them all rubbery and flexible again. I can take this top cover off, and then I've got to carefully take the rubber unit off the metal housing that's in here. We'll look at that all in a later video, and actually take these off so that I can then soak this in the solution. And from watching other YouTube videos, it seems to have some good results. So I'd love to hear your comments and your thoughts on revitalizing these rubber joins when they've gone to basically hard plastic. It really is, it's rock solid. Nothing we can do about that now. Heating up with a hairdryer will bring the flexibility back, but we need to address that. And if I recall rightly, the ones off the old filters are in a similar way, but again, I need to dig that out. They're buried in that cupboard down there somewhere, so I need to fight those out. So those are something we need to look at. The replacement seat, that's up there ready to go on when I finish. At the moment this will get packed up with boxes etc when I've stopped videoing and put it to bed. So that's where we are for going forward into 2020, and then of course once all of those relevant jobs are done, I need to look at getting this engine going again. It's been sat for quite some time, which to my shame, I've probably not prepared it properly for sitting for a length of time. So again, would welcome your thoughts on the steps I need to take to regenerate, to get this engine ready to be running again. Or it had an oil change and a filter clean and all that kind of stuff when I was running it. It's now been sat for about a year and a half, well, over 2 years now actually. So I'm thinking, do I, drain the oil out of it, obviously, wait for a warmer day, obviously. Right now it's about 8 degrees centigrade at the moment, so wait for a warmer day, drain the oil out. And I'm thinking that if I fill the oil up from the top here, from the tappet covers up here, that and let the oil flow down through the engine etc, turn it over gently on the kickstart with the sparks out, and turn the engine over as I pour the oil in there etc to its relevant level. Hopefully that will circulate some of the oil in there for getting it going again. But again, would really welcome comments, thoughts and input on that. Comments from previous videos, that just to touch on. There was a comment about the torque setting on this, and I set it to sort of the lower end of the torque setting, and there was a comment about how stiff this is to move. And I agree, it is stiff to move, but remembering it's all brand new parts in there, and some of the tolerances for the new bushings that I put in there will be different to the originals. So this is one that I need to watch. I need to be careful, I need to pay attention to, see how well this is moving, see how well the suspension is working. But yes, this is an area I need to really focus on and pay attention on as we get the bike running again. And I've also had some comments about getting the scan of the gasket for the front brake available, so that I will do, and I may try and get a comment in this video or in a future video, or do of course look at the channel details, and there might be a link in there to my website for stuff that you might be able to download, the scan of that, the scan of the seal for the horn, that when we regenerated the horn, and I'll start looking at putting other stuff on there, but that's a work in progress at the moment. So that's where we are for now, the beginning of 2020 on the CB200. So thanks again for watching. Thank you so much for your subscription and following along etc. Love to see your comments and read your comments, love your feedback. Please do keep it coming, and let's hope, fingers crossed, that maybe 2020 is the year that I get this bike back on the road. Cheers, bye bye for now.